going on, everybody? This is your man, Rodney Gillette, your president and CEO of the Colorado Springs Black Chamber of Commerce. And it is National Black Business Month 2023. And we are celebrating. We're all over the wire right now, talking to Black-owned businesses all over this Front Range. And we have the honor of having today the CEO, Mr. Terry Josiah Sharpe, Anthem Music Enterprises. My brother, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor, for sure.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being on with us this morning, man. We have a lot to talk about. You guys are busy. Ever since I've known you, you've been busy. You and your queen, y'all just been busy. And we hope to get her on the show a little later when she handles her business too. So for the people, tell us about Anthem Music Enterprises. Tell us about your background. How'd you get started in this industry?
For sure. Okay, well, one, Anthem Music Enterprises, multimedia studio that reimagines the way independent artists create, entertain, and inspire locally. And so what that really means is that we really just help creators of all different types, singers, songwriters, musicians, artists, videographers, photographers, just the creative industry. We really teach them how to navigate this creative industry successfully. So really looking at themselves as entrepreneurs and understanding that in order to have money legally funneled to you, you have to have an actual business set up.
Right on.
So that's kind of like the crux of what we do. But we do that out of our multimedia studio, which is called Anthem Live Studios. That's our headquarters.
And where's that at?
Garden of the Gods Plaza.
Okay.
I just love saying that. So
yeah,
it's in the Garden of the Gods. It's a really nice space, heavy traffic. But we use our headquarters as pretty much a creative incubator for all mediums of art. So again, it's kind of like helping the creative industry people really move forward in their industry, and really teaching them how to successfully navigate this wild industry, for sure.
So tell me about the products and services that you're offering at Anthem for these creatives.
Absolutely.
What can they come over there and get done?
So in the building, you can kind of do anything. So it's an event space. People have used it for quinceañeras, birthday parties, day parties, baby showers. In the building, we have an event space in there. We use it as like a private gallery for our own stuff, intimate showcases, practice space for artists that are getting ready to go on tour, band rehearsal space, because there's not a lot of those here in the city. Really anything. And that's kind of like in the building, but the actual services that we offer outside of the building, we're full-blown multimedia. So we do a lot of audio, visual marketing. We produce songs or albums for artists. That's kind of our bread and butter. Music is the heart of our art. So right now we have 18 clients that are doing full-length albums from I think 6 songs up to like 15 songs.
Wow.
And those artists literally are coming from all over the country to work with us, which I think is really dope. We have more clients outside of the city than we do in the city. But that, out of 18, I think we have like 6 here in the city, and then 12 that are coming from Pueblo, Denver, Fort Collins, LA, New York, Texas, like literally all over the country, which is really beautiful. And especially when I think of when I first moved here about almost 6 years ago, and I was telling everybody this is what I was going to be doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, you got to go to Denver to do it. You can't do that here in the city."
Yep.
And like that's just like I grew up in San Diego, so San Diego to LA is Colorado Springs to Denver.
Right on.
In terms of like national notoriety, the things that you can do there, the access, resources, even the distance, it's very similar. But growing up in San Diego, I was always taught, like, if you can't build with what you have where you're at, you have no business trying to go somewhere else to do that. So, okay, cool. Build it in San Diego. You hear all the time, oh, you can't do it in San Diego. You got to go to LA, So when I first moved here, that's what I was hearing. And I'm like, nah, like we building it here. Like
Yeah,
that's the bottom line is let's build it. And if you're down to be a part of this, like I feel like we're gonna do something special.
that's
Um,
cool.
and we've been doing something special for, the better part of 3 years now.
That's awesome.
With Anthem, where I think we're actually gonna hit 4 years in September. So
Wow.
we're right at four, which is pretty awesome.
Congratulations, man. It's a good
Thank you.
anniversary. So you started right around COVID then, huh?
Man, we started September 2019.
Yeah. COVID hit
So,
in March. So
you
what
know,
was that like? How were you able to navigate that challenge and stay in business and keep the vision and keep the focus? How'd you get through that?
yeah, everybody had to pivot majorly.
Yeah,
And the art and entertainment industry were the ones that got hit, really, really hard. I think to the tune of like a couple $1 trillion.
sure.
Um,
Yeah,
you think of entertainment and that's sports, that's live concerts and
yeah.
things that happen in big stadiums. That's the Comic Cons. That's like that's all of these things that come together to help entertain people and keep them
Mhm.
active. And so for us, I think what's cool about the music industry, art and entertainment industry is it really is about relevance.
Mhm.
So how can you stay relevant in today's times? And so I understood that, and so like one of our first big partners was the Olympic training facility out here, and
Okay.
they do this thing, the Olympic Day every year,
Mhm.
and we were working with them for the top of 2020 to really like push it forward. They had never promoted. They don't need to promote, to
Right.
the community. They just send out one email blast, and all of their people flood the facility.
Right.
Um, and so 2020 was the first year they were going to promote it. And we
Wow.
were working with them. We were going to promote it. They actually asked my wife and I to be the host. So we were on the committee getting ready to do
Okay.
everything. And I'm talking like it was going to be huge. We were going to kickstart the entire event by walking up the stairs of the Olympic training facility with the torch and lighting the big torch on top of the
That's awesome.
building. And
What a
that's like
spectacle.
a spectacle. That is you talk about relevance. That's the height of it.
Wow.
And we're showing that to the city. And so that was like our big coming out party for the city and for ourselves in the city. Um, Obviously, it didn't happen because COVID shut everything down. So
Yeah.
we understand that it's not just about the relevance and the big glamorous showcases. The only way that you can even do any of that stuff is by building a community. So we
Yeah.
really focused our building a community to our online showcase, or we built our community online. Um,
Yeah.
and so in doing that, what was really cool was that there were still buildings getting erected here in the city, and big things still trying to happen in the midst of COVID. And because we were still active in building our community online, there was a nice building that got developed, and they had a big grand opening in 2020 at the height of COVID, and they asked us to do the grand opening for it. And that building is called Kawadi. Uh,
Mm.
and that was a lot of fun. I think we brought in like 500 people, which was really crazy. Again, height of COVID. So the beauty of Colorado is that it had a little bit more lax rules and regulations than some of the other states. So we were able to really like have some fun, but we also, they didn't know how to do it. Nobody knew what was happening or how we could actually do these events. So I think the first big event that we did at Kawadi, on the stage, they put like because our events are focused around live music. So it's,
Hmm.
it's almost like a concert or like a show. Cause like, it's not a concert because like we have like a full like run of the show, like it's like a ebbs and flows inside of this musical
And I
showcase.
want to make sure people understand this is also a service that your company provides. Like, I'm not talking about, putting up a microphone and somebody just coming up there to sing. You know, I
Right.
I could do that sometimes. But dude, when we're talking about Anthem music, this is a production. This is a show that is
Yeah.
happening. We've got
Right.
live musicians, and you guys, they have done did some shows for us with with Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region
Yes.
for last year's Arts Month After Hours. And
Yes.
it was an incredible show. The Money Gun, like, you know, had me out there singing. Everybody people that can sing, that can't sing, they out there singing with you. Like it is such an engaging show.
Thank you.
You know, I
Thank
just
you.
came back from Atlanta not too long ago for the National Black Nurses Association conference, and they had a group similar, you know, to yours that was entertaining everybody live, and the guy was singing like, you know, remix songs and all this stuff, and I was like,
Yep.
dude, I got a friend back in Colorado Springs that puts on these huge live productions, and like it was like 1,000 people in there. It was Black nurses from across the
Beautiful.
country.
Beautiful.
You know, so, you know, I've seen your show. You know, for people that are interested in getting a live production done,
Yes.
you are the folks to call.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, man.
And
Yeah,
for
that's my
reference
review.
too,
5 stars on Google. Bam.
let's go.
Yeah.
And for reference, that actual show is called the Urban Classic. So
Urban
anytime
Classic.
you see the Urban Classic presents, that's usually one of our shows. The Urban Classic is where urban artists and classically trained musicians meet for a live improv show. So we practice about 60-70%, and then the other 30 to 40% is kind of all improv based on our engagement with the crowd.
Yeah.
It's to me, like, I always try and create something that I want to be a part of, or something that I would have wanted if I'm on the other side of it. So with the Urban Classic, like, I want a show where, like, I've been to a lot of shows, you know, and I'm talking like top of the A-listers to people we've never heard of before. um and I feel like a lot of things that are missing. There are some great shows out there. I'm not
Yeah.
even knocking shows. But a majority of the shows, the main thing that I feel is missing is like the full engagement. Like, I want to feel like it's funny because, like, I can look back on the Kings of Comedy, and like Steve Harvey is talking about going to a rap show, and they're talking about, oh, repeat after me, and they're doing that, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm paying all this money, you sing the song, right? And like that's
Yeah,
kind
right
of
on.
like what you want, but also, like, I don't want to go to a concert and feel like I'm just being like performed at. Like, I want to feel involved. I want to
Yeah.
feel like a part of the show, and so that's how I've tailored the Urban Classic. Is and I think the biggest compliment that I got from that was somebody was at the show, and they're just like, I've never been to a show where I felt like I was a part of it.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
And they feel like they're a part of the Urban Classic shows, and so that's like the biggest testament that we could ever receive. 5-star Google review, those are huge, you know.
Yeah, man.
And it absolutely is a service that we offer. And we actually just got picked up for we have the Best of the West Wing Festival coming up next month.
Oh, I did see the ads for that. So you guys
Yeah.
are involved in that? What are you doing?
Yeah,
You're
the
doing
Urban
a show?
Classic. Yep, we're doing a 45-minute set. So it's a little bit shorter. Our usual shows are like 3 hours
Yeah.
for the Urban Classic, but this one is a 45-minute set. Really great. I'm super excited. We get to show off 3 different artists through this, and I think that that's one of the fun things about the Urban Classic is we get to highlight talent. And we have like really dope musicians that are a part of it, and the flow of our show is really fun and engaging, but like we really get to highlight some of the dope talent that's either in the area or we get to bring out. So
That's dope, man.
yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Terry Josiah Sharpe? Tell me about your background and how did you get started in this industry?
Sure. So I'll try and keep this as brief as possible.
Yeah, we ain't got all day now, you
Yeah.
know, but we got some
Sure.
time.
I think as humans in general, we're all just, we are at our current places just an amalgamation of all of our past things that we've gone through, and all of our friends and relatives that we're involved in, and all of that stuff. So
I got that.
so I'll start, again, try and make it as brief as possible. My mom, music director in the church, always grew up around it, and like grew up in it. So if drummers can't make it, drummer sick, hey, get on the drums. Okay, gosh, I got to learn the drums. Backup pianist isn't there, I got to get on the keys. And so I learned music at an early age, and I remember being young, like, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16, and we're in the church, and like something happens, and like I'm playing the keys, and I hit a chord, and like I remember that chord created it almost like elicited an emotional response from the people. And so I'm like, And so I get off of it and then I go back to it and they kind of like go back to that emotional state. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is powerful. Like this is, I just remember like having that like epiphany moment. Like music is powerful. And that was,
Yes, it is.
15, 16 years old. And I couldn't, I still can't let go of that. Like I don't do music because I love it. Let me even just like kind of like preface it with that. I love music, but I mean, I love barbecue, but I don't eat barbecue every day. Like I do music because like I have to. I don't have any other way of expressing myself. So like
It's a calling, you'd say.
Yeah, it's a need. It's a yearning. If I didn't have music, like, and I'm not even trying to get morbid or anything, but if I didn't have music, I wouldn't be here for real, for real. Like it is my release.
Yeah.
So, okay, now growing up and kind of like understanding the power of it and the impact of it in my life, I always kind of thought like this is what I wanted to do. Now, you have to be good at it. And at the time, you're young and not really knowing what to do and how to do it. And I'm playing, whether I'm on the keys, if I play the wrong chord, my mom turns around and gives that scowl, like get it right and get it together. I'm playing the drums and I'm slowing the tempo down and I get that same scowl, pick it up,
Let's go. Yep.
And so like a lot of times, like my mom being an MD, I think maybe she had wanted to go maybe commercial or figure out a way to like really, and MD is just musical director if people don't know that. And she was the music director of a church. So I don't know if she wanted to go commercial, but I feel like she had this understanding that it was really tough to be in the music industry or to do it at all. And so she always kind of like tried to steer me away from it. And partly because, maybe I didn't have the skill set and she reminded me of that. Like, T, she always called me T, like T, you're just not good, and
thanks, Mom.
and it's like, okay, dang, like I either have to get better or go ahead and let this go, and then what was interesting was, and like I did it all through, all through my childhood. Like I've done music since, like, and I'm talking like vocals and instruments, and by instruments, that's your vocals, that's trumpet, piano, and drums. Those were the four kind of instruments that I played with. Vocals though, she thought I had it. She was like, yeah, you can, and I had good range. And Brian McKnight was like who I kind of like. That was like my go-to.
It's a good standard. Yeah.
It was my go-to standard for sure. And he's a full-on musician. Plays multiple instruments, sings like his voice is made of butter. It's nuts, right? So having that as my standard and not always reaching that, it was like I knew that I wasn't there, and then I'm hearing it, oh, you're not good enough, blah blah blah. So okay, I don't know, maybe I'll do fashion. Maybe this is me when I'm young and getting out of high school, graduating. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll go into fashion then, since clearly, music is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I considered fashion. I thought that I was going to maybe take a year off, after high school and then go into fashion. Graduated June 2001. So I'm considering this school called FITM, Fashion Institute Design Merchandising. It was in Las Vegas. My grandparents lived in Vegas, so it kind of seemed like something I could do. And at the time, FUBU was like really hot. So I'm like, if four brothers from New York could do it, surely one young whippersnapper from Cali could do it. Because we had that. FUBU. Yeah. We had that East Coast, West Coast kind of like beef back then too. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, four dudes could do it out in New York. For sure, one kid could do it. One Cali kid could do it. And that was my mentality. And so graduate June 2001 and kind of like get my mindset in this fashion kind of world. And then 9/11 happens. And my birthday is September 8th. And so I literally had just turned 18. And 9/11 happens 3 days later after my birthday. And I feel like I got activated. Like if people are here trying to stop or threaten our freedoms, like I have the honor and privilege of being able to fight for that. And so boom, literally the next day, like 9:12, I'm at the recruiter's door, like, yo, like, let me in. You know,
Let me
um,
in. Right on, man.
I'm ready. You know, and I didn't need parent signatures. I just turned 18, so like I could do everything on my own.
Yeah.
So boom, joined the military. I joined the army, became military police, and got to serve 6 years. And man, I accredit a lot of my success to the discipline that I was able to gain in the military.
Thank you for
Um,
your service, my brother. Appreciate
Thank you.
you. Yeah. Veteran to
Um,
veteran.
the veteran to veteran. Thank you for yours as well. Um, the military was crazy, and I joined like literally, you know, during wartime, and so I got to be a part of some pretty crazy battles. I was in the Battle of Fallujah. That was pretty wild. Our army company, our platoon, got attached to a Marine company in Fallujah, which I didn't even know that they had done that or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I got to see some pretty wild things. I was a part of some pretty wild things. I made it out. Not everybody did, and I made it out. You know, as you know, full bodied as
As
possible,
complete as you could be.
as
Yeah.
complete as I could be. I lost like a small little chunk of my arm right here, but outside of that, like I didn't lose anything else. Other people lost a lot more, you
Yeah.
know, and just like fully grateful for the not just my service, but for and I don't want to say that because it's weird because like I would, you know, service, right? And the you make it back, not everybody makes it back, you know, and like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say that I was protected and other people weren't protected. Um, you know, so
We
it's always,
understand.
yeah, it's always
We
weird
understand. Your
to talk
veteran
about
brothers
that.
and sisters, we understand that. We know exactly
So
what you mean and how you feel. We share that.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
share that.
I
Hmm.
made it back, and that
Yeah.
was and thank God, because like I was involved in some really crazy things in battles. And I remember one time like we had got blown up by an IED, and we were driving, and I'm looking at this pile of trash, and I'm like, man, these Iraqis would be crazy if they put an IED in the trash. And like it was like as soon as I finished the thought, the trash blew up. And I'm talking like I'm looking at the trash. I'm in the gunner's turret. So I'm like, and I'm faced towards the trash. So I'm like looking at it like, man, these dudes would be crazy. They put one in there. And then boom,
Yeah, it
it
blew up.
exploded.
Wow.
And it has
Wow.
like the metal shrapnel. It has the I mean all, you know, all sorts of stuff inside of it. And like I'm right there. Like the blast is on my face and I drop into the truck. Like this, I mean, this is one of, I don't know, 25 IEDs that I was hit with. So not, you
Yeah.
know, this is just one of them. But like to me, this one was like really crazy because like all the shrapnel literally went around, like it went in the truck, and some of them went through the truck, and like literally all around, and nothing hit me on that one. Like
Mm.
it's just like, and I remember dropping, and when I dropped, you know how like you see in the movies, it's like doo,
Yeah, right
smoke,
on.
smoke is
Yeah.
everywhere. It's just like mouths moving, and
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
Got your
anything,
bell rung.
you
Yep.
know, like in full. Anyways, I made it back. And my first tour, I was like, all right, bet. Like I did one tour, I feel good. I'm getting ready to get out. And the military was like, stop loss. You're going back to Iraq.
Psych.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they sent me
Wow.
back to Iraq. So I did 2 tours in Iraq in 6 years, and made it back both times. And man, like I really feel like blessed and honored to have served, because I don't know. We don't not everybody has the opportunity to fight for their country.
Right on,
And the
man.
fact that I was able to, you know, and my wife and I were talking about that last night. Like, man, like I really was able to fight for our freedoms. And like I really feel like because I fought, I want to do my best to enjoy my freedom as much as possible. I know what it's like to not have freedom. You don't have freedom when you're serving the country. Like you are told what to do every step of the way. And while that's beautiful and a great system to keep our freedoms free, uh man, I couldn't do that for the rest of my life, or I didn't feel like I could do that as a full career. And mind you, like while I was in the military, like I had I'm meeting musicians and creators, and like I'm dabbling in music still, and like I'm still having this need to release, you know. So I get out March 2007. I did a year off and went to college after that. And like, mind you, like that whole year off, I was off. Like I wanted to do absolutely nothing. I
Right on,
came,
man.
I deployed from '04 to '05 and '05 to '06 and got out like my last tour ended in like November of '06, and then I got out in March of '07. So I'm like, I'm doing nothing.
Right
Um,
on.
and so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time for a year, like not really having to do anything. Um, and then I was like, all right, cool. Like I joined the military and I'd got, you know, you can get like signing bonuses or whatever. I chose to do this like extra school incentive. So I was able to like what it was really was like I had to pay for college, but they paid me, mind you, and they paid me more than when I was active duty. They
Mm-hmm.
paid me every month to go to school.
Good.
And like I had like this kicker, I forget what it was called, like some kind of like college kicker or something, which gave me more money for them to pay me more. So it was really nice. I was able to go to school. When I went to school, you know, you do the assessment test. They're like, "What do you like?" And I'm like, I don't know, music. Like that's kind of
Music.
where, you know. And they told me like, "Oh yeah, there's a major for that." And like I'd been out of school for 7 years, you know, but it was in high school, so I didn't even know. I had no idea that I could major in music. Like I didn't even know that that was a thing. So they
Right
tell
on,
me I can
man.
major in music, and
Yeah.
I'm
Like I'll do that.
hyped.
I got it. I like that.
I'm hyped. So I go to college. I major in creative writing and in music history. I use those to really leverage each other. I've always wanted to be a songwriter. Um, so I use those to kind of like leverage each other. Creative writing, our creative writing degree was like one of the top in the country. It's the number one bilingual creative writing degree. Go Miners, UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso.
All right, man.
It was a really special time when
UTEP.
I was UTEP. Yeah, when I was in college, I wanted to have like the full college experience. You know, I'm in the military. I get out, and so now I'm like, I wanna feel this college life. So do the college life, join the fraternity, end up becoming the president of my chapter, Theta Z, Kappa Alpha Psi. Um, yes, I'm a thoroughbred noob.
Right
um,
on, man. A lot of
and again,
musicians go Kappa.
a lot of musicians go Kappa.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
And so like I really enjoyed the whole college experience. But what was really special is that my sophomore year, my professor said, "Hey, like you're doing really well in your creative writing classes, but also you're doing well in the music classes. You should submit this song, or not even submit the song. You should do this. You should do a song, and then we'll submit it." So I'm like, cool. I don't even know what that means. All I knew was that I had the ability to reach out to classmates and make a song. And so I'm like working with classmates. We end up actually not even recording at the school, which was funny. We ended up recording at the professor's house, which was really cool because like we're bringing classmates in, and I'm like, this is my first time really like executive directing everything. So I have a choir. I'm like, all right, you guys do these voices, the musicians, you guys do this, and we're building everything out, and we're using class elements, you know, to build everything, and it was really special. The song I thought was really, it was done really well, but you know, one of my first songs ever. So was it done really well? You know, I'll have to go back and listen to it now and really gauge it. But I remember back then just so much work got put into it. Gave it to the professor, submitted it to him. He ended up submitting it to a statewide songwriting competition. And you know, he hits me up maybe about a month later and is like, "Hey, remember that song that you guys did? Yeah, you won College Songwriter of the Year in the state of Texas." I'm like,
Wow.
"Wait, what?" You know? So we had this full award ceremony. I got like my little plaque, and it was really special. This is my sophomore year, so I'm like, you know, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm combat veteran, college songwriter of the year. I'm only a sophomore. I'm doing, take that, mom. You know what I mean? I'm like,
So your mama was motivating you. See,
yeah,
that's
exactly,
how she loves you.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
you ain't
exactly.
gonna be able to do it. Like, I'll show you, mom, and look what you did. Look what you
Right,
did,
right.
boy.
So that was really special, but you know, that's kind of like that was where the beginning of this industry really took hold. So from that moment, I started getting looked at by major record labels, independent record labels, and I think that was really cool. I ended up signing with an independent record label. I felt like we were really aligned. If I did a major, I felt like I would have had to leave school and like really dive all the way in, but like I started school. I feel like anytime I start something, like you commit to something, like finish it, you know, like go through. So,
It's a good goal. Yeah.
so I started school, and my goal was like, yo, everybody tells me how difficult school is. Like everybody was telling me how college is difficult, and like there's no way to do it in 4 years. Like you usually doing it in 5, 6 years, and like sometimes it's like 7, 8, you know. Um, and I was like, nah, like I'm setting my goal. So I set my goal to graduate college in 4 years. Um, and I started in 2008 and I ended in 2012. So got my degrees in 2012, which again, I met my goal. But in that process, it really was about like, okay, how can I grow in my career while I'm still in school? And so again, the label that made the most sense in terms of allowing me to still have like school as my number one thing, that's who I signed with. They were called Above the Notes. And it was a lot of like philanthropic work, work in the community. We went to jails. We taught inmates how to do music, but we also went on tours. We were doing music. We had a lead artist who was the showcase of the label. I got to do backgrounds on during like our big shows. I got to really hone in on like my vocal arrangements because that was kind of my strength in the music industry. That was like what started off. Like right now, it's I'm probably one of the top vocal arrangers like in the country, like legit like top 10. No, no, all jokes aside. There are some really good ones, and I put them up there in the top 10 with me, but I'm up there. But I started back then, and I was really with Above the Notes. I was really able to like hone in on that because I was more behind the scenes. Mind you, I'm college songwriter of the year. I get signed to this label, so now I'm like, well, where's my spotlight, guys? Come on. Like here I am. I'm this perfectly wrapped gift for you all to shed light on. And they were like, hey, chill out, young buck. You got combat experience, but you have no industry experience. And this industry is rough. So let us teach you. And so they kind of like shelved my music, but I got to learn everything about the behind the scenes of the industry. And that's where I really was like, oh, I don't need the spotlight. This is beautiful. Like you work behind the scenes, like this is beautiful. So worked all the way behind the scenes, and I'm talking like I got to work with like Mac Miller's team. They're full back then. Like Mac Miller really made his name because of his music videos. And that was Rex Arrow Productions. And so we got to work one-on-one with Rex Arrow Productions on like 3 or 4 of our music videos. And like we're talking like he's calling Mac Miller, like the videographer, their cinematographer that we were working with, is calling Mac Miller. He's giving us advice, like, and rest in peace.
Yeah.
But like it was beautiful. I got to work with some members of Bone Thugs and Harmony. I really got to like tap into different elements of the industry by just being behind the scenes and like me seeing all of that. I was like, oh, I don't need the spotlight. This is perfect. So then, all right, now fast forward senior year. I did 2 years with the independent record label, transitioned out of there, and now my senior year, I'm like, cool, like I really can focus on like me for me. And now I want to create and figure out like what my own personal sound and brand is outside of anybody else or anything else. So kind of went on like this self journey of finding myself and figuring out my voice during my senior year. Graduated college, moved back to San Diego, where, hometown. There was some family stuff going on, so I moved back there to kind of like help with the family. But I knew that when I went back there, I was going to start a business. So started a business and tried to figure out how to do it both like with some people and then also like on my own. So I did it with some people and it just wasn't good. It was 4 of us, and everybody's equal, and so hey, nobody's the leader, and I'm like, all right, cool, but like things got to get done, so who's gonna delegate what needs to get done,
Yeah,
you know?
right on. You need
So
a
we
leader.
were like, it was crazy because like all we did when when we had this business, all we did was meetings. Like nothing actually got done. It was just like meetings every, you know, every couple weeks or so. And I'm like, all right, guys, I'm kind of tired of this. Like nobody's doing anything and nobody wants to do anything. So um, left that one, and this is all part of the entrepreneurial journey, you know.
Yes, it
So
is.
left that one, started a business all on my own. I'm like, all right, forget these guys. Like I'm gonna just do it all by myself. So did it by myself. Now, mind you, you know, I'm fresh, I'm young, I'm doing this by myself, and like now because I'm doing it by myself, like I'm not taking advice from anybody. I'm like
Yeah.
I've gotten all the advice I need. I'm not listening to nobody, you know,
Yep.
and so people are like, hey, like don't spend money on this because that's going to lead to something else. And sure enough, I'm like, I'm not listening to you. I spend money on that, and then nothing comes from it, and it leads to something else. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I should have listened, you know, and but
Well,
what
those
was
are the risks we take, right? You know, it's
exactly
you win or you learn. That's John Maxwell. You know, you win or you
period
learn. Yep.
period.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so there was a whole lot of learning then. um,
You're right on, dude.
but I think what was really cool is that, you know, I'm saying that, you know, jokingly, because there was so many wins. Part of that was so I moved back home, and I'm trying to help out. There's some family situations. Um, and what was really crazy is like I've built my name in this music industry as like a songwriter. And really like, oh, I'm a songwriter, but also like I do hooks. So like I'm like on the choruses of a lot of songs that were out there back then. And so people would come to me, and they're paying me good money to write a hook for them. So I'm like writing songs, writing hooks, boom, boom, boom. However, it was like the content that they were asking for was not aligned with like how I was trying to live my life. So the
Mm,
content was very much like what we hear on the radio nowadays, just money, clothes, cars, hoes, the, you know, like literally the full spectrum of the facade.
right.
And so I literally, what was really crazy is like, and I'm talking, I'm making really good money as an independent creator, writing songs and hooks for all of these people. But I knew what they were asking for, but I also knew how it was creating an imbalance in my own life, because what you speak, you do, you know,
Yeah.
and so, and for me, that's like really like, if I commit to something, I'm going to do it. So what I really speak, like I really do. And so I'm writing these songs, and the, you know, is ratchetness, right?
Yeah. Right
And
on.
I'm not trying to live the ratchet life. I'm trying to like be wholesome and live just kind of like change my own narrative, right?
Yeah. Right on.
And so I send this message out to the 25 plus producers and artists that I was working with at the time. Like, hey guys, like stuff is still going to sound the same, but I know you guys are asking for something specific. I can't really write about these types of topics anymore. But the audio, like sonically, it's all going to sound the same. It's just going to be a different like language. Um, Out of that, like 5 people stuck with me out of the 25 plus. Out of those
Mm,
5, they said that they stuck with me. 2 really didn't. They never sent me anything. One person sent me something and was like, oh, nobody liked it. But like usually it's like a 2-week turnaround. And he told me same day. Like, oh, it's not hitting, you know, after I sent him a song back. Um, it was a really, to me, like I felt like the music industry turned its back on me because I wanted to stand true to like my own voice, or stay true to my own voice, and it really turned its back on me in doing that. And so um so I went from like making a really good amount of money to like absolutely zero. Like I'm talking 100%, like from good money to complete $0 coming in from music now.
mhm.
And that's tough, you know. But in that, like it I gained like a lot of perspective. And part of that was like when you lose all of your money, when you lose all of the things that you think you want to hold on to. I'm talking, I lost my car, lost the house, I was homeless for 93 days, 92 days, something like that. Sleeping on my she's my now wife, but she was my girlfriend back then, sleeping on my girlfriend's parents' couch, you know, for like I don't know,
A
75
minute.
of those 90 days.
Right
you
on.
know, in their back space, not in a bedroom, not anything. Like I'm a grown man. This is, you know, like I'm a combat veteran. I'm a college grad. You know, I got these accolades. I'm college songwriter of the year. Like that stuff don't pay bills. You know what I mean? Not all the time. So, um, I found myself in this really like ground zero level, for me, and in that it was like what can I find in this moment to move forward? What can I use to propel myself forward as opposed to, you know, just like staying in this spot? So it might sound weird, but like I really latched on to gratitude. And like and when I say that, like I really created gratitude as like an actual practice for me. So I created like my own mantra, like in terms of like, and I don't even like mantra, like I don't know if mantra is the term, or prayer, or verbal affirmation.
Oh, come back, brother. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Gonna work on getting Terry Josiah back here. Terry Josiah. Terry. Hey, my brother. Lost you on the feed. Close your browser and click the link again. Come on back. See you in a minute. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Sorry.
Good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a long time. Good to see you, brother.
So I really latched on to gratitude, and I used it as like a affirmation, or I don't know, however you would want to say it. And I'm just gonna do it because I do it every day still. My day begins and ends with gratitude. My mind, body, and soul sing in harmony and live in balance. I live in a loving universe that responds directly to me. Wealth flows and my actions create constant prosperity. I am aligned with the energies of abundance and peace. Nothing can stop me, not even me, because my day begins and ends with gratitude. And I did that, and I mean, I'm on.
Man, that's poetic, bro. I like that. Wow.
And
Okay.
I'm on like, I mean, this I've been doing this literally since then. I was 32, because it was on my 32nd birthday, and I had this goal of like, oh, on my 32nd birthday, I'm gonna be millionaire, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, like I'm gonna have everything, and I literally am finding myself on my girlfriend's parents' couch with nothing. You know, like literally, I'm not even joking, bro. I had a suitcase, like, and not even a big one, like a small suitcase, and that was it, in a car. I had a car and a small suitcase and like nothing else. And so, and that's what I found. That's where I found myself at 32. And so instead of complaining on my 32nd birthday, I created this affirmation and really like put in some work on it. And so when I say like gratitude is, I really feel like it's the virtue that sustains the temperature of our happiness. It is everything that we need to unlock our fullest potential. I ended up working with the city of San Diego. We were able to get World Gratitude Day, September 21st. Like every September 21st now is recognized as World Gratitude Day in San Diego, which I'd love to be able to get that here in Olympic City, because I think that would be huge.
Gratitude Day.
Gratitude is everything. Gratitude is actually what landed me here in Olympic City. And I say that like kind of like almost like facetiously, but also like for real, because I was able to do this song called the Gratitude Song, and through that song and through World Gratitude Day, I kind of gotten noticed by some of the philanthropists out here in the city. And they had already known what my wife was doing, but because of this impact on the city in San Diego, they got to see what I was doing, and they asked us to come out to the city and share what we do with different people. And so they brought us out 4 different times over the course of a year. And that kind of led to us really looking at moving out here. And so from 2016 to 2017, they brought us out. At the end of 2017, we moved. And I dissolved my business in California, started a new business out here after about a year and a half of kind of getting a good lay of the land. Their only ask was do exactly what you're doing in San Diego, but bring it out here and like do it at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And what my wife and I kind of agreed on is when we come out here, don't try and like go extra hard. Like just keep our same California hustle, and we're going to be able to do things. And I think the beautiful thing about Olympic City, USA, Colorado Springs, Colorado, is that it's such a, even though like land, like geographically land wise, like we're large, population wise, we're still kind of small, even though we're, about 600,000 people, 500,000 people or something. I think what's really cool is that we have, everybody just wants to do what's best for the city, like, period. So now to kind of like wrap all of that up, boom, we come into the city, we build. I hear, oh, you can't do it here. You got to go up to Denver. Nah, I'm not going up to Denver. I'm doing it here. And we've been building it. And now Anthem turns 4 years old, September, I think 12th or 15th, one of those days. And we've been doing some really, really fun and incredible things. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take, 25 minutes of time just on my bio.
No, man, no, don't apologize, man. Like the people need to hear the story. There's a lot of inspirational things that you've said. Your journey has cross sections in
Yeah.
other people's journeys throughout their lives. We have our one of our board members in the background running this feed, Ellie Red Cloud. So I can see her because I'm an admin, but you can't see her. But
No.
when you were talking about the music piece and growing up in church and doing music and the looks you get when you play the wrong chord. Dude, I grew up playing music in church. She grew up playing music in church. So we get it. We understand that whole environment. And then the whole military piece, we've all been touched by that. As active duty military spouses, we've all been touched by that experience. And you talked about some things that some people haven't had the experience, some people have experienced. And sharing that story inspires others. And we're glad to have you on the horn today to be able to share those inspiring stories. Because people needed to hear that today, man. I appreciate it. Now 4 years in, and we're all hearing, it's probably by your design, that you are expanding. Can you tell us about this?
Absolutely. So we got our actual brick and mortar last year. We did our grand opening September 1st. We started on my dining room table, upgraded to the basement. So again, about 2.5 years in, we finally get our building and we build it out. I hired some contractors. They kind of screwed us over a little bit. I had to finish everything myself, which, that's part of the game, I guess. And so now that we've been in our building for a little bit over a year, we are officially expanding. We had some, and I love the dance, so I can't even knock them, but they were really disruptive. We had some Irish cloggers next door. And we don't, like, again, when we create music, we don't do just like, oh yeah, here, make a beat and then go. Like, we really tap into the emotional destination of our clients. Like, where are you really trying to go with this? And we really want to make that happen. But it's kind of hard to do that. And we're like, oh, tell me how you're feeling about this particular piece. And then all you hear is Irish cloggers in the background. And so, the landlords were like, hey, like we can have them leave if you guys can take over. We said, absolutely. And that's kind of like a leap of faith on our end, though, because we weren't financially ready, but we know that it's going to assist us in the long run. So we've been building it out for the last like 60 days, 2 months. And we are almost ready to open. We will be doing our grand opening in September. We don't have the actual date locked in just yet, but we'll be doing a grand opening. It is a full and the first ever multicultural dance studio and event space here in the city. And we already have we have different types of dances that are going to be in there. We have hula, we have Tahitian, we have East Indian Odyssey dance, we have yoga, we have twerk fitness, we have any and everything that you need to break a sweat and to get active in your body and your mind. And being able to build it, like, literally, our two buildings are just next to each other. It's really beautiful for us because we really are able to create our own kind of arts and entertainment hub here in Garden of the Gods. So
Wow. And you went from one space to owning two spaces.
yeah,
We'll keep expanding to more spaces.
yes,
Next thing you know, you got a little shopping center going on with your
exactly.
name all across it. I mean, this
Our
is the
goal
Black
is
Wall Street. This is how we work it. This is how it happens.
exactly, and our goal
Yeah.
is really like being able to get a full compound, and like having different areas on the compound to really do different things, but all for arts and entertainment. So
That's
building
awesome.
building the first real like kind of economic ecosystem for arts and entertainment here in the city. We have some fun things that are out here. Notes Live is dope. They're doing some good things to help with the economic development of it.
Yeah.
The conservatory has helped building musicians that can help do that as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Conservatory. Yep.
Shout
Good
out
stuff.
Colorado Springs Conservatory. It was one of my first positions that I had here when I moved.
Yeah,
So,
right on.
um, and I just think that now being able to do this like for this, I don't know, it's just like it's still kind of like surreal because like people are coming up to me like, oh, you're the music man, right? Because the Gazette did this article when we did our grand opening last year, and like a full spread, but the title of the spread and this big picture of me, the music man. So
The
like
music
people
man.
come up and that's what they say to me, or you're the guy that's on the Juneteenth stage, like because of what I do, like I'm involved in a lot of the different like music things that are happening. So I'm a believer as well. So I've been honored and privileged to be able to jump on with citywide worship. We do the yearly Juneteenth now. We just did our third year. Fabulous was our headliner. It's really fun, but it's also still kind of like surreal because it's like, man, this is everything that we had talked about doing upon moving here. Like it's not just that we're doing it, but we're doing it at the highest level. And so,
So tell me, what events do you have coming up?
oof. All right. So what's today? Friday the 18th?
Today is Friday the 18th.
Yes. All right. We have a huge show tomorrow, August 19th in Denver at the Lumiere Lounge.
Okay.
Lumiere, I don't know. So a lounge. A really nice spot. We have that tomorrow. We have in September we have the Wing Fest. We have citywide worship. The citywide worship is on the 15th. The Wing Fest is on the 16th. There's so many things. We have
So
our.
tell me about New Year's.
I'm like New
I
Year's
heard you
is a
get
big
your
one.
hands in like a big New
Yes.
Year's party. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us
Yeah.
about the New Year's gig.
I think what's really cool is because it's such a small city, there aren't too many things that happen on New Year's. And so I'm like, well, if we're here and people are like looking kind of like reaching out to us saying, hey, what's going on for New Year's? Like if there's nothing really happening, let's make something happen.
Let's
And
make something
so
happen. Let's
last
make
year
something happen.
we did the first ever what I like to call a night of magnificence.
Mm.
And we did it at COS City Hub. It was a brand new venue. Nobody had really heard of them. Um, uh, Huge capacity, beautiful stage, everything. And so my thing is like it's New Year's is it's glitz and glam. It's you want the backdrops, you want the photo shoots, you want to be able to like celebrate and look back on the year of successes that we've had, but also we want to be able to like kind of like in this one night drop all of the BS that happens throughout the year as well. And like, let's just dive into this beautiful collective voice that we all get to share. I think the beautiful thing about our community is just come unite. That's all it is. Come unite. And we get to do that and we get to unite people through music. So this year, we have a really dope lineup. Night of Magnificence. Our theme is The Great Gatsby meets Cirque du Soleil. So it's you get people like fully dressed to the nines, showing now big hats, fancy suits, but then you also get like a troop of elves or a fairy or this creature on stilts, or like all sorts of fire breathers. Like you get all sorts of like just glitz and glam. And again, like to me, it's
Sounds
like
cool.
let's dive into an atmosphere that allows us to both celebrate the successes of this past year, learn from the lessons from this past year, and forget the BS. It is a wonderful time. And then we have a like once midnight hits, then we have a full dance party. So it's like DJ dance party, right? Because it's everybody wants to turn up after midnight.
Right on, man.
But before then, we have like some really dope music, both live music and people with backing tracks, and just some really fun. A fun environment for people to just come and hang out and see some of the city's best dressed. People come and they dress to the nines. Like it's
Nice.
it's a fun experience for sure.
Nice. So as a black owned business in Colorado Springs, what has that experience been like for you?
I will, moving here, I was nervous. And also, let me just kind of before then, let me say this year, our Night of Magnificence New Year's Eve show music festival is going to be held at Sunshine Studios. So,
okay,
tickets will be on sale. I think the first of the month. So,
okay, very good. We'll be tracking it.
Okay.
Make sure everybody gets those tickets.
Yes, because like they will sell out fast, and we only have 700 room for 750 people. Like last year, we had room for 1,000. It was a different venue, and we had to promote a brand new venue. We had to promote a brand new show, and we had to only 2 months to do it. Only 2 months. We started in October last year. That was when we got the green light. Like, oh yeah, let's do it. And we had 750 people show up. This year, we only have capacity for 750 people. And we've had all year to kind of like showcase this. So, all right. Black owned business here in Colorado. I think for me, I was nervous moving out here because conservative Christian capital of America.
Sure.
And what I will say is that I very fortunately have not felt any kind of racial issue, racial tension. I hear it. I hear about it. People talk about it. People experience it, and then they share with me kind of like immediately after, both from maybe the law side as well as like just regular business side. But I mean, I have not experienced that, so I can't really speak on that from that perspective. I've been blessed. Like, the first loan I ever applied for, I got approved for. Like, it's like, so that's, to me, like that kind of speaks volumes for maybe how the city is growing from where the city was. That doesn't mean that people don't experience hardships, in this city based on being melanated. And I want to make sure that if that is still happening, like we're able to address it and address it appropriately and fix those things. The city did just elect its very first Black and immigrant mayor.
Talk about it now. Yeah, they did.
And so I think that that's kind of like a sign of where the city is going. I haven't personally experienced racism here. Like, I haven't experienced overt, in your face, direct. Like I've gotten the looks. My hair isn't usually like this. Usually my hair is a big afro. And so I get looks, you know what I mean? And I also understand the power of an afro. And so that's why I bang it out like that.
Right on, man.
This is a protective hairstyle for our show tomorrow.
Right on, man. Make it work.
But I know the
hair, man.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of our hair too, is like we can literally do whatever we want with it,
Talk about the crown now, brother. Tell them about it.
And I rock my crown with pride every day.
Yeah.
And I know the power of that. And so in seeing myself do it and hearing like other people experiencing some of the things, it's like, well, to me, I'm like, well, I don't want to invite that by rocking my crown, but I'm not going to deter, you know what I mean? Like, if it deters it, I don't know. I have not experienced it. I know that people do. And I want to make sure that they don't. And I want to help where I can. I really feel like blessed and privileged to be here and not have and not have had experienced some of the things that a lot of people have. So
Thanks, man.
in terms
Let
of
me ask you.
being a Black business owner, the Black CEO of a music company that's growing and doing great things for the arts and entertainment industry, I feel like I'm in a really blessed and privileged situation.
Very
So
good, man. And this is a pretty good community to do business in. And um,
yeah,
there's a lot of organizations that you can choose to be a part of to help you in
yes,
your journey to
yeah,
accomplish your mission and your vision.
yeah.
Why did you choose the Black Chamber of Commerce?
um, again, I'm melanated, so I want to be where my people are at. But not just that, like I think that the Black Chamber really, I haven't seen any other chambers in the community and active the way that the Black Chamber is. There's a lot of chambers. Shout out to just the I don't want to say regular, but the chamber and EDC, the Hispanic
Shout
Chamber,
out
they're
to
doing
Chamber.
great
Yep.
things. The Pacific Islander or the Asian and Pacific Islander Chamber that just got established not too long ago, doing
Yep.
great things. The Filipino Chamber is doing some incredible things. Like
Hey, shout
all
out to Harmony. Hey, girl.
exactly. Hey, what's up, Harmony? um, the chambers are doing some great things. So it's not that they're not. I personally haven't seen the activity as much as the Black Chamber. Also, like again, I want to be where my people are. I think that's what is that what Ariel says? I want to be where my people are. No, I think I'm joking a
Oh man, hashtag Black Ariel. Hey there. Woo. Yes, Little Mermaid. Yes.
um so I want to be where where my people are at, like for real, and to be able to not just celebrate economic growth, but to celebrate like my business and other businesses here in this city with like melanated people. To me, that speaks volumes again to where the city is going and how it's growing and developing.
Right on, man. That's beautiful, man. Thank you for that, and we appreciate you being part of the revolution.
Yes, sir.
This is doing some great work out here, man. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly those from the Black community?
Whew. Uh, Stay the course. That's huge. Not even just like stay the course, but like understand what the course is. And in order to understand what the course is, like you kind of have to go through like classes. I've been in, I don't know, I've been in the city for 5 years, going on 6, and I've been in 4 different like leadership classes or entrepreneurial classes. And so like I encourage anybody, if you're on an entrepreneurial journey, like don't feel like you have to do it alone. Understand that
Mm,
there are organizations and classes that are out here like Leadership Pikes Peak. They
yes.
just started their signature program, I think yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
um,
Shout out to Brandon. What's up, Brandon Eldridge?
Shout out to Brandon,
My man. Yeah.
the SBDC. He's now the new executive director over there, and
Yep.
they do some incredible things as well. Classes that help you align with where you want to be, as well as like the moves that you need to take, like understanding those moves. I was able to be a part of the Colorado Enterprise Fund. They did a class. I did that one. I did Leadership Spike Peak. I've done like multiple classes to understand the lay of the land. Like if you want to be an entrepreneur in your city, you have to understand the economic structure of your city, and you have to know what your industry is going to bring and how it's going to bring it to that city. So you want to get into, like, I feel like Olympic City, USA, Colorado Springs, Colorado is a great place to, if you're in the tourism industry, because tourism is our number 3 economic, kind of like economic developer for the city in terms of like the money that it generates. So if you're, defense, obviously that's number 1 here, and
Hmm.
that's not military. Military is number 2. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like if you really want to be an entrepreneur, depending on your industry, like understand what your city is doing for that industry. And
Hmm.
if you don't, like dive into classes that teach you. If you don't already know, then dive into some classes that'll teach you the lay of the land. I think the cool thing about being in those classes, like I was able to network, meet people that are in this industry, meet people in other industries, but also understand how the politics work here. Like that's like a huge thing for any city. Like people think politics is just like a national thing, but the only way to really create change is by dealing with the local politics that are happening in your city. So
You gonna
find
run for
out.
office?
Oh no, I don't know about that. That's not
Yeah.
on my vision board right now.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it later. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yes,
mean,
yes. We'll
everybody knows
table
they
that.
need to vote, but y'all need to make sure that you run for office.
Like
It's
get
important.
involved, period.
Yeah.
Like that, and that you don't have to necessarily run for office to get involved, but join boards, be a part of like
Yeah.
movements that are happening in the city. And I just recently joined the Kono board. And they're all about the
Congratulations.
community, and thank you.
Shout out to Sarah Voss.
Shout out to Sarah. She's
What's
incredible.
up, Sarah?
So being able to like see that you have to tap in. You cannot be an entrepreneur without tapping into your city. So tap in with your city, learn as much as you can, join as many classes and courses. I mean, these are like 4 week, 6 week courses that you can get in one day a week, or maybe even a couple of days a week or something. Like it's not a huge investment to do that. But in doing that, you learn what's happening in your city and how you can be more involved. So the best way to do that, the best way to be an entrepreneur is exactly that, is to invest in yourself and invest in your community, period.
So let me ask you this: how can the community support and engage with you? What can we do to help you grow and expand and be successful? How
A
can we
couple of
support you?
things. Yeah, a couple of things. If you see Anthem Music Enterprises is doing anything, show up. That is number one. Show up and show out and be beautiful.
Yeah.
If you see Urban Classic is doing anything, show up, show out, be beautiful. But also in our expansion right now, what we're doing a community assist here, and so we're building out our building, but I know that people want to be a part of this. And so people are asking, well, how can I invest into you guys and do something and get something? Sometimes people want ROI, return on investment. And so
Sometimes they want something like
sometimes,
that.
you know, so we're actually building what's called our legacy wall. Our legacy wall is both for businesses and for people. So for businesses, there is different tiers. So we're building like this big wall in our multicultural dance studio, and we're putting plaques on the wall. Those plaques signify your level of investment. And then we have another legacy wall that is just for people. And then again, your name on that legacy wall there's 3 different tiers, and I'll just run through those really quickly if that's okay.
Yeah.
For businesses, you get a 12-inch hexagon plaque on our wall, $10,000. It shows your involvement. I think we have 3 of those right now. We have a $5,000 plaque for businesses at 8 inches, and then $2,500 plaque at 6 inches. And we have multiple already of all of those tiers. But then if you're just an individual and you're looking to have your name on a wall, and mind you, like this for us, like this is in perpetuity. So everything that we do at this building, when we build and erect our actual building that we're going to be getting once our lease is up here in 4 years, all of the names and businesses are going over there as well. So it's like literally in perpetuity, because there's no way you can help us build here and not build that over there.
Oh, man.
But for personal like names, if you want just your name on there, we have our name wall, which is also a legacy wall, and $1,000, your name is big in gold on the wall. For $500, your name is same size but in white, and then for $150, your name is smaller but in white. And we're doing this to show all of the people that are both assisting with our growth, investing into the arts and entertainment industry here in the city. And also just like wanting to show their own legacy supplanted here in the city. We fully understand that we're going to be here. Like we're going to be here, but like we're here and we're going to be here for a long time. We're building something really great, and I really feel like we are going to be kind of like the beacon of light for arts and entertainment in the entire region, not just Olympic City, USA, but for the entire region. So all of these people that are a part of this, that are putting their names on the walls, putting their businesses on the wall, all that is doing is assisting in that and expanding our reach and expanding the growth, not just for us, but even for them.
Thank you, brother. Man, thank you Thank you for this interview today, man. Thank you for all the great work you do in this community. I've been nothing but impressed with you. You have done a lot of blessing of a lot of people since you've been here. We've had events at your beautiful space. We've run live stream events from over there. You know, we've seen your recording studio and your professional sound recording booth and your machines and your equipment in there. And there's been some great events that have been held into your event space. I can't wait to see what the next chapter holds for you. We haven't even got started on your queens. I just want to give a shout out to Miss Kristen Faith Sharpe. I know she's handling business somewhere in the vicinity, but she's got her own universe around her as well, and she's doing some great things also.
She just walked in.
Oh yeah, what's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Hey, Kristen, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Good to see you. Yeah, we've had a great interview. We're just about to wrap up, but we want to say hey to you and, you know, thank you for all the great work you're doing with the Boss Babe Network. And, you know, I've seen your social media for all the young women that you are empowering all over this community, because women empowered is definitely going to change things.
Yes.
Because there's a whole focus to keep you not feeling empowered.
Yep.
So to keep gassing that up is great. We're already seeing the effect of that change. So thank you, Kristen. You are a blessing to all of us. Thank you, Terry, Josiah.
She's amazing, and I don't even want to take up more time, but I just have to like honor her real quick. Like,
do it.
Yes,
do it. Honor your queen, bro. Go ahead, do it. Honor your queen.
I think seeing her, she just did a summer camp for Boss Babe Networking, and young girls, like really giving them courage and teaching them how to be confident. It was life-changing, not just for the girls, like for me watching it, being a witness. Gosh, it was so beautiful, but it's not even just that. Like, she wants to invest into the community so much that her heart is for young girls who are turning into young women, but also it's for organizations that are doing great things. So she runs, you know, and is the CEO of both Boss Babe Networking and the Nonprofit Makeover. And the Nonprofit Makeover really teaches organizations how to go from traditional, you know, writing grants and fighting for the same funding that everybody else is fighting for, to like full on, like online digital powerhouses where you turn your followers, fans, and likes into donors. And for her to do that, like, and see her involvement in the community, like, it inspires me to keep going, and it motivates me, because like I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't see her pushing every day. You know, and so it's really beautiful, and man, like, I don't know, I don't feel like everybody in their marriages, I'm not even gonna talk about other marriages, I'm gonna talk about mine. I feel like in our marriage, I've never seen something that was so equally yoked. And it's just like beautiful, because we really are each other's balance. And when you have balance in your life, in your relationships, in your marriage, and your business, it helps you kind of like move in ways that you really want to, but maybe didn't think that you actually could, you know. And I'm gonna brag on her too. She just landed her first $1 billion partner. Like, billion, like, I'm over here I'm just trying to make $1 million, you know what I mean? But she just landed a $1 billion partner, you know, and her $1 billion partner is really teaching people how to grow their organizations on a, you know, in a digital way.
Well, more specifically, I partnered with a company called Give Smart, and we started an initiative to specifically help BIPOC nonprofit leaders, because there is a huge disparity in funding for nonprofit leaders of color. And so we are offering education and resources and fundraising tools to help those nonprofit leaders level up. And being able to do that across the country is going to be really special. And so y'all are the first to hear it.
Yeah.
Just so stay tuned, because we're going to be giving away scholarships into this e-course that I created to give people access on how to raise money on autopilot. So it's coming,
and it's not even out yet, but like the press release is coming, like everything is about to like really like spread like wildfire here in the next like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Colorado Springs Black Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome, man. Wow. Congratulations to you both. Keep going. Don't stop.
No.
I don't care who's telling you that you can't do it. I know you've all heard it before. You've heard it before you moved here. You've heard it at different points in your life. Like, now You can't do it. Nobody's done it before. It can't be done.
Right.
I've tried it. It didn't work. Dude, do it anyway.
Right.
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because you can. And you
Yeah.
will get it done. Man, I'm so proud of you guys.
And like,
thank you guys for
we wouldn't be able to do any of this like without the support of literally like the philanthropists that brought us in, people like you, Rodney, like, and very specifically you, Rodney, like for the Susan Patties, for the Yemis, for the and I'm saying like for these people as if there's multiple of them, but like very specifically for all of the people that have helped us not just like get here to the city, but expand and grow and give us opportunities to continue doing what we're doing. For you all seeing the value that we bring, that's what allows us to keep going. So you're saying keep going and keep doing it, but we wouldn't be able to do that if it weren't for people like you. So thank you to the Colorado Springs Black Chamber for trusting us, for
being a huge supporter of everything we do, like literally showing up and showing out for us every single time. Like it really means a lot, because you don't have to do all these things, but you do it because that's the person that you are, and we truly and genuinely appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on, man. Right on.
But I think the new way is like this or something.
Like that?
Nah, not like this. Not like this. Like it's like this.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Like that. There we go. There we go. Hey, I can do it, man. Live long and prosper, the whole thing. All the signs. All the signs. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys being on the show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
If you're looking for Anthem Music Enterprises, Boss Babe Network, you can find them on the Colorado Springs Black Chamber of Commerce. Follow them on their social media. Like, share, and comment. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at cosblackchamber.com. And until next time, we'll see you later, my friends.
Peace.